Okay. So first thing, write down this basic principles of counting or fundamental principles of counting, whatever. Please maintain the notes clearly. Okay, basic principles of counting. This entire permutation, combination, and probability. Okay, these three topics. It is with respect to this basic, it is built on this basic principles of counting. So there are two basic principles of counting, also called as fundamental principles of counting. The first one is principle of addition or addition principle, and the other second one is the multiplication principle. Okay, addition principle and multiplication principle. What is addition principle? So addition principle is, in both these cases, we are going to consider two tasks. Okay, there are two tasks to be done, and there are certain ways of doing these two tasks. Say, for example, there are two tasks, T1 and T2. Understand this clearly. You will have to clearly understand when to use addition principle and when to use multiplication principle for having a clarity in the solution. And if you mess this up, then wherever you have to do addition, if you do multiplication, you'll get a different answer, and most probably that will be one of the options. So you will not even know that you have done a mistake. So there are two tasks, T1 and T2, okay, which can be done in m and n ways respectively. M and n ways respectively. Means T1 can be done in m ways and T2 can be done in n ways. Okay. Then what is addition principle? If I have to do either T1 or T2. So either T1 or T2 can be done in m plus n ways. Okay, m plus n ways, or number of ways of doing task T1 or T2 is m plus n ways. This is addition rule or addition principle. So if you are using the word or, we will see examples, then it will be very clear. Okay, if we are using the word or, then we need to add. Okay, so this is for the word or. Both T1 and T2. T1 and T2 can be done in m into n ways. Can be done in m into n ways. So if we are using the word and, okay, this is multiplication principle. Are you writing these points? Okay, so if you're using the word and, then you will have to multiply them. So what do you mean by this or and? So let me take an example. Suppose there is a example one. Okay, suppose there is a student who goes from home to school. Okay, so this is his home and this is a school. He needs to go from home to school, and if he can either go by bus or by auto, his choice, but he can't choose both. He has to either go by bus or by auto. If he wants to go by bus, let me assume there are four different routes. Four different routes for him, four different choices he has if he wants to go by bus. And if he decides to go by auto, let me assume there are three routes. Okay, let me assume there are three routes. Now, to go from home to school, he has to go by either bus or an auto. Now, totally how many choices does he have? In how many ways he can reach the school? Either by bus or by auto, isn't it? Understood this? Not 12, either by bus or by auto, not by both. He can't go by both bus and auto. Is this clear? If you have time, you will go by bus. If you don't have time, then you will go by auto. Or if it's raining, you will go by auto. If you decide to go by auto, there are 3 different routes. If you decide to go by bus, there are 4 different routes. So totally 4 plus 3, 7 different choices he has. Is that clear? So here he can reach the school by bus or auto. Hope this is clear. Suppose this is one example. Okay. Suppose the same example, I'll modify a little bit. Now there is no direct route from home to school. Okay. So his school is far. There is no direct route. He has to go until this point by bus only. So from home, he cannot go by auto. He has to go by bus only. And there are 4 different routes, whichever route he wants, he can decide. After reaching this point, from this point to this point, he has to go by auto only. From here to here, there is no bus and he has to go by auto only. There is no other choice. And there are 3 routes. So to go from home to school, he has to go by bus and he has to go by auto also. He doesn't have a choice here. Is that clear, everybody? So in how many ways he can reach school? Number of ways in which he can reach the school is, here it is 12 ways. 4 into 3, 12 ways. So what is this 4 into 3, 12 ways? What does it mean? Means let us assume these 4 routes are B1 to B4. These 3 auto routes are A1 to A3. He can go by bus 1 and then he can go by auto 1. Or he can go by bus 1 and he can choose auto 2. Or he can go by bus 1 and he can choose auto 3. Okay. Or he can choose bus 2 with auto 1. Or first go by bus 2, then auto 2. First go by bus 2, then auto 3. Understood, no? So like this, three different auto routes he can choose for every bus route. So choosing one among this 4 is 4 different ways. Into choosing one among this 3 is 3 ways. Why are we multiplying? Because for every route of this, we have 3 further options for auto, which is 4 into 3, 12 ways, because he has to go by bus and by auto also. Alone by bus or alone by auto, he cannot reach the school. Everyone understood the difference between these 2 problems, these 2 examples? When we are using addition and when we are using multiplication. If it is like this or that, then we use addition. If it has to be this and that also, then it is multiplication. Is this clear, everybody? Okay, so this is how this is a principle of addition and multiplication. Many questions can be solved with just this addition and multiplication principles without actually using permutation or combination formula. There are certain simple problems which you can which you can solve using this basic rules itself. There are some not so easy questions which, if you use this rule, it will take time. You can use the formulas so that you can get the answer quickly. Now let us solve some questions based on this and then we will go for permutation and combination. See here, in how many ways can the letters of the word perfect be arranged? We are not going to actually solve this question using these fundamental principles. We will use so we will use permutation formula, but let me solve it using the normal basic principles of counting. So in how many ways can letters of the word perfect be arranged? So here, how many letters do we have? 7 letters, right? This we will take it as n. Okay. N is 7. So we have 7 letters. And do we have to choose any one letter here? No, right? We have to take all letters and arrange them. So we need P also, and we need E also, and we need R also. So every value, every letter is required. So there are 7 positions that we need to fill. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Different ways of arrangement is what we are finding. Now we have just consider it as a box of characters where you have all these characters mentioned here. Now, how many ways you can choose the first letter? You have 7 choices, right? And now one of the letter is chosen here. Now we have to choose any one among the remaining 6 letters. This one, and we need to select a letter for the second position also, which has 6 different possibilities. And for the third position also, we need to select one letter which has 5 different possibilities. Now after selecting 3 letters, I have 4 letters remaining. So I have 4 options here, 3 options here, 2 here, and the last leftover letter is written here, which is nothing but 7 factorial 5040. And since E is repeating twice, we will divide by 2. So if you have not written this, then don't write it because it might be confusing. We will see it under different categories. I just wanted a question. Okay, fine. So the 4-digit number, right? It is not given in a proper order here. Anyways, we will okay, right. So now this is basic principles of counting. So next is factorial. What is factorial? What is factorial of a number? Anyone? Nobody knows. Vijay, you don't know? You're doing BCA, right? You should be knowing. Sakshi and Danush are doing BCom, no? I'm not sure. Don't know? BSc, okay, so Sakshi, you have joined for MCA or MBA? MCA, okay, right. So Sakshi also don't know what is factorial? Danush BCom, okay, fine. Huh. Okay, what is factorial? Tell me then. You can unmute and answer also. So factorial, Vijay, don't know factorial. You're doing BCA, right? Vijay, BCA or what? What is that you're doing? BCA, no? You would have done factorial of a number, programming also. Recursion you would have done. Okay, so here factorial of a number, we write it as n factorial. Okay. Multiplication of numbers less than that. Yeah, now multiplication of all numbers from that number to 1, not just less than that, the number also you have to take. So what is n factorial? N factorial is n into n minus 1. So you need to keep multiplying numbers less than that until 1. Okay, by definition, 0 factorial is 1. There is some derivation for this. You don't have to bother how we get 0 factorial is 1. But n factorial is all the product of all numbers from 1 to n or n to 1, you can say. So 0 factorial is by definition 1. So if you suppose you want to write 5 factorial. 5 factorial is, yes, correct, Sakshi. So 5 factorial is 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1. Okay, which is 120. So multiply all numbers from the given number until 1. So write down these factorials, and whenever you're solving questions, look at these factorials and then refer these factorials and then solve. You don't have to memorize it. After solving some questions, no, it will come to you naturally. So 1 factorial is 1. 2 factorial is 2 into 1, which is 2. 3 factorial is 6. 4 factorial is 24. 5 factorial is 120. 6 factorial is 720. 7 factorial is 5040. 8 factorial is 4320. That's all. This much you can remember. Anything beyond this, you can keep it as it is. You can see the options and accordingly you can simplify. So what does this mean? Factorials means product of all the numbers from n to 1. Now, how do you simplify equations or mathematical, solutions which has factorials? Now, if you observe 5 factorial is 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1, right? So what is 4 factorial? 4 factorial is product of all numbers from 4 to 1, which is 24. Now, if you observe here in this 5 factorial, I can mark this 4 into 3 into 2 into 1 as 4 factorial, isn't it? Which is 5 into 4 factorial, we know, which is 24 equals to 120. Now, in this 4 factorial, I can write 3 into 2 into 1 as 3 factorial. So I can also write it as 5 into 4 into this 4 factorial. I can write it as 4 into 3 factorial also. So basically, if you want to write any factorial, you can expand, and wherever you don't want to further expand, you can stop there and write a factorial. Is that clear? Yes or no? Here we have written 5 factorial as 5 into 4 factorial, which can further be written as 5 into 4 into 3 factorial. All of you understood this? So if you have equations where you have factorials, let's see how to solve it. Now, if you know any factorial, its next factorial is just, say, if you know 6 factorial, 720, what is 7 factorial? It is 7 into previous factorial. Okay, 7 factorial, we can write it as 7 into previous factorial. If I want to know 8 factorial, it is 8 into previous factorial 5040. That way you will get further factorials. If you want, you can find out that way. Now, see how you have to solve steps which has factorials in it. Have you all written these things? 1 factorial to 8 factorial values. Now, suppose you have something like this, 10 factorial by 8 factorial. Now, you need not write 8 factorial is 4320, right? So just because you know this, you don't have to simplify all these things, not necessary. Always, whichever is bigger factorial, simplify that. Stop when you get the other smaller one. So 10 factorial is the bigger one here. I'll expand it. Expanding means you have to keep writing into the smaller numbers. 10 into 9 into 8. Now I'll stop because I have 8 factorial in the denominator. Okay. So 8 factorial and 8 factorial gets cancelled. 10 into 9 is 90. Right? Let me give another example. You tell me the answer for this. I'll have 7 factorial by 4 factorial. What is the answer? What's the answer? 270. Huh? No, I don't think it's 270. Is it 270? No, it's not 270. Yeah, okay, Vijay, no problem. I'll share the recording. Sure, I'll share. Just remind me after some time, okay? Yes, it is 210, correct. So we have to expand 7 factorial until we reach 4 factorial. 7 into 6 into 5 into 4. We'll stop here because we have 4 factorial in the denominator which gets cancelled. 6 into 5 is 30. 30 into 7 is 210. 3 into 7 is 21. So we get 210. Okay. So this is when we have division. Suppose we have something like this. 9 factorial minus 8 factorial. So here also the bigger one I'll expand. 9 into 8 factorial I'll write. Minus 8 factorial. Here 8 factorial is common in these two. So I'll take it common. So here after taking 8 factorial common, I have 9 minus here after taking 8 factorial common, we have 1. So 8 factorial into 8 or 8 into 8 factorial. Now for this, you don't have to actually simplify. 8 factorial is 4320 into 8. You don't have to multiply and write. Look at the options. If necessary, you multiply, otherwise not necessary. Tell me what is the answer for this one. 6 factorial plus 4 factorial. 29 into 4 factorial. No, no, no. See, this is easy numbers. You can directly get the answer. 6 factorial is 720. 4 factorial is 24, which gives you 744. Or if you want to simplify this way, then expand 6 factorial. Okay, write it as 6 into 5 into 4 factorial. Okay, sorry. Maybe you have given the answer correctly. Plus 4 factorial. So you take 4 factorial common. Now here I have 30 plus here it is 1. So it is 31 into 4 factorial. Correct. 31 into 4 factorial. So hope you understood how to simplify steps which has factorials. Separately, you won't get this as a problem. Okay, you will definitely not get this type of question, but this is going to be part of solution. So you have a big solution. In that, one of the steps will be this. So now you know what is basic principles of counting, addition and multiplication principle, when to use, and then you know what is factorial and how to simplify steps which has factorials. Now let us learn what is permutation. So what is permutation? It is selection and arrangement. Okay, so write down this statement. It is number of ways of selecting and arranging our objects out of n distinct objects. Out of n distinct objects. This is permutation, selection and arrangement. Both are there. Combination means only selection. Finish writing. So what is permutation? It is selection and arrangement. Now, many students, they have the basic confusion among permutation combination is that how to identify, because a question will be given in how many ways you can do this. So in how many ways will be the usual way the question comes for both permutation as well as combination. The common doubt that every student has is that how to decide whether it is a permutation based formula or combination based question. So because based on that only you're going to use the formula, right? Whether it is a permutation question or combination question. That is a very common doubt that students will have. Always remember, does it involve arrangement? Means, is the position important? If you interchange the position, does it change the meaning? Does it change its value? If yes, then it is permutation. If it doesn't matter, if the order doesn't matter, if the arrangement doesn't matter, if it is all same, arranging in a different way is not at all different, it's not giving you a different meaning or a different structure, then it comes under combination. So usually questions under permutation will be like arranging letters in a word, forming numbers, 3-digit numbers, 4-digit numbers from a given question, and arranging people to for a photograph, and arranging people around a table, dining table, making people sit for a meeting. So this all comes under permutation. So what will be combination? Under combination, you have forming teams, like there are this many, there is a group of boys, there are like 8, there is a group of boys with 8 boys, and there is a group with 5 girls. So you have to form a team, a committee in which there are 3 boys and 3 girls. So 3 boys should be taken out from those 8 boys group. 3 girls should be selected from those 5 girls group. And in which order you select actually doesn't matter. They're all going to work together as a team. In which order they sit for a meeting, all that doesn't matter. Okay, so such things come under combination, like forming teams, forming committees, selecting. There is a box, you have different colored balls there, you have this many red colored balls, this many blue colored balls. In how many ways you can pick 3 balls such that 2 are red, 1 are green? You have come across such type of questions, right? So picking balls, different colored balls, or forming teams and committees, selecting, say, different number of cards from a given pack of cards. So all such things, cards usually come under probabilities. So this forming committees, such things will come under combination. Okay. So wherever you're writing this permutation, leave one full page because we have lot of formulas and results to write. Keep everything at one place. All formulas will keep at one place. But once we learn one formula, we're going to solve some questions based on that. Then we'll come to the next formula. So leave one full place, full page to write formulas. Okay. Fine. So number of ways of selecting and arranging R objects out of n distinct objects. That is called as permutation. And it is denoted as NPR. Okay. NPR, right? So the first formula is NPR is equal to n factorial divided by n minus r factorial. This is when r is less than n. NPR is equal to just n factorial if r is equal to n. Write down these two formulas. So now you know what is factorial and how to simplify this, you know. Finish writing? As I told, leave some space and then write your example problems from the next page. So here, what is this r less than n? N is the number of objects. R is the number of objects you are selecting and arranging. So if you have 5 objects, you can select 3 objects and arrange. You can select 2 objects and arrange. You can select 4 different objects and arrange. If you have only 5 objects, can you select 7 objects out of 5? Not possible. Therefore, always R it should be either less than or equal to n. So less than n, then we use this formula. If it is equal to n, you can still use this formula. If r and n are equal, so n minus r will be 0 because they are equal. Subtracting one number from the other, you will get 0. This is 0 factorial. 0 factorial is equal to 1. We have already discussed. 0 factorial is 1. So it becomes same as n factorial. So we have directly written that as a formula. When to use this one? If r is equal to n. If you have to select all the objects for arrangement, usually we are going to use this formula whenever we have rearranging letters of a given word. Now all the letters have to be rearranged, right? So R is not a different number. How many letters are there? All those letters you are taking for arrangement. So that is called as R is equal to n. We are going to use just n factorial is the number of arrangements you can make. If R is less than n, we will use n factorial by n minus r factorial formula. Okay. So we will solve some questions. Okay, let's directly write this. Okay, so tell me what is, leave that one full page and then write in the next page. Solve this one. Find 6p2 and then 8p3. Just individually, these two answers you find, not multiply them or anything. So how do you write 6p2? What is n and what is r here? N is 6, r is 2. NPR, right? N is 6, r is 2. So we use the formula n factorial by n minus r factorial. So it is 6 factorial by 6 minus 2 factorial, which is 6 factorial by 6 minus 2 is 4 factorial. Now you know how to simplify this. Bigger factorial is this one. Keep expanding. 6 into 5 into 4. Now I'll stop here because 4 factorial is there in the denominator also. It gets cancelled. 6 into 5 is 30. Is this clear? Tell me the answer for 8P3. Six into 7 into 8, right? So here you will get 8 factorial divided by 8 minus 3 is 5, 5 factorial. Now we will expand this 8 into 7 into 6 into 5 factorial. And here we have 5 factorial. This gets cancelled. So we have 56 into 6, which is 336, 336. 8 into 7 into 6 is 336. Understood, no? Now there is another way of writing it. Every time you don't have to substitute in the formula and simplify. So how many, what is the value of R, right? That many numbers from 6. So 6P2, here we have 2, right? So write 2 numbers from 6, which is 6 into 5. This is not a shortcut. Basically, it's not a trick or anything. It's just we are skipping few steps. That's all. So here we have applied formula. Then 6 minus 2 factorial we have written. Here we have expanded. 4 factorial gets cancelled. And we are left with 6 into 5 actually. So this one we are directly writing. That's all. So what is 8P3? Am I audible? Okay. So 8P3 is R value is 3, right? So write 3 numbers from 8 in the decreasing order. 8 into 7 into 6. So don't have to substitute the formula and simplify. Whatever is R value, that many numbers you write from N. Now tell me the value of 10P3. What is 10P3? What's the answer? Yes, 720. So R is 3, right? So write 3 numbers from 10, which is 10 into 9 into 8. 9 into 8 is 72, into 10 is 720. Okay, whatever is R, that many numbers you have to write from N in the decreasing order. Hope it is clear. Now we'll solve some questions, simple questions. See here, 11 students are participating in a race. In how many ways the first 5 prizes can be won? So there are 11 students and they're giving 5 prizes. And here, first you have to think whether the order is important or not. They're giving first 5 prizes, right? So the order is very important because the one you pick first is going to get the first prize, right? The one you pick next is going to get the second prize. If you are choosing 5 people to go to the next round, then that becomes combination. If you're choosing 5 people and giving them first 5 prizes, means first prize, second prize, third prize, then the order in which you pick is important, right? The one who is chosen first is given the first prize or the fifth prize, whatever. So since the order is important, you know it is permutation problem. So here the answer is just 11p5. That's all. Now for 11p5, you see the options. You don't have, 11p5 or any such numbers. You have to simplify. Write 5 numbers from 11. 11 into 10 into 9 into 8 into 7. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. So this is 720. We already know 720 into 7 is 4900 plus this is 140, which gives you 5040 into 11. So 5040 into 11 is going to be greater than 50,000. So the answer is 55440. So if you have observed here, I did not completely multiply. 10 into 9 into 8 is something you will definitely know because so many problems you would have solved. You will know 10 into 9 into 8 is 720. So with this 720, we are multiplying 7. We get 5040 into 11. So 5040 into 10 is 50,400 plus another 5,040 you're going to add. So it's going to be greater than 50,000. These two definitely are not the answers. So among these two, it's greater than 50,000. So this is the answer. Even if you multiply clearly, correctly, you're going to get this number. Okay. Understood? No, it's easy. Easy question, basically. You cannot expect this easy question. We are just taking it in an order. Okay, what is the answer for this one? 13th question. In how many different ways? 3-letter words can be formed using the letters of the word special. What's the answer here? How many letters are there? What is N value and R value? 7p3, correct. So N is 7 because we have 7 letters. We need to form 3-letter words. So the answer is 7p3, which is 7 into 6 into 5, which we have just done in the previous problem, 210. Correct. Okay, so the next question is, in how many ways or how many different words can be formed from ways the letters of the word, letters of the following words, be rearranged? First one, Monday. Tell me the answer. So here you see, in the previous question, there was a word and we just found out how many 3-letter words can be formed. But here, letters of the following words be rearranged means all letters are rearranged. Means you have to find how many 6-letter words can be formed. So here number of letters is available is 6. And you have to take all 6, right? Whenever we say rearranging letters of a word means we are taking all 6, all the letters available. So the answer is, what is the number of arrangements? It is n factorial. Okay. Yes, n factorial. If r is equal to n, then the answer is, formula is just n factorial. So 6 factorial is 720. Tell me the answer for computer. Same thing, rearranging all the letters of the word. Factorial values you have already written, right? So you can check that and get the answer. Yes, 4320. So here n is 8. We are supposed to rearrange all these letters. So answer is 8 factorial, which is 4320. Correct. Now you have written formulas, right? There you write the third formula. You have already written 2 formulas. These 2, 1 and 2 you have written. There you write third formula, which is if, write this one, out of n objects, if n1 objects are of one kind, n1 objects are of one kind, n2 are of a second kind, etc. Second kind, then number of arrangements of all those n letters, okay, all those n objects is equal to n factorial divided by n1 factorial into n2 factorial goes on. So if you have n objects and you have to arrange all the n objects, just like these words that we just did, Monday and computer, all the letters we rearranged, right? And n and r are equal. Suppose in this we have some n1 objects are of one kind, n2 objects are of second kind. So what does this mean? You have some repeated letters. So basically the formula is for permutation n distinct objects, right? It means there are no objects that are repeated. There are no duplicate objects. Each of these n objects are distinct. Then this formulas we use. If there are any repeated letters, like if you take parallel, A is repeated twice, L is repeated 3 times. If you take assassination, A is repeated, S is repeated, N is repeated. So if you have repeated letters, then they are not distinct, right? So you just count how many repeated letters are there. Each different category, you have to count how many letters are there and then divide by all those factorials. Okay. So now what is the third word that we are going to arrange is parallel. Here, what is n? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we have 8 letters, but here there are repetitions, right? Write down all repetitions, count it and write separately. What all are repeating here? A is repeating, L is repeating, that's all. So how many A's are there? 2. And how many L's are there? 3. Now what is the answer? The total number of arrangements is n factorial, which is 8 factorial, divided by each of these numbers factorials you have to write. 2 factorial and 3 factorial. Okay, now simplify this. 8 factorial is 4320. You can directly write it, or what I will do is I'll write it as 8 into 7 into 6 into 5 factorial, because 3 factorial is 6. Okay, 2 factorial is 2. So 3 factorial is 6. This gets cancelled here. And 2 fours are, so 4 into 7 is 28 into 5 factorial is 120. That gives you, what is 12 eights are 96. 12 ones are, sorry, 12 twos are 24, plus 9 is 33. So 3360 is the answer. Understood? Whatever is repeated, all that individually you have to count, and in the denominator, you write all those factorials. Give me the answer for this one. What is the answer? What is n value? How many letters are there? Yes, 7 letters. And what letters are repeating here? Only A is repeating, right? And how many times it is repeating? 2 times. So what is the answer? N factorial divided by whatever repetitions are there, all those factorials. Only one repetition is there, which is 2. So write down 2 factorial. 2 factorial is same as 2. So 7 factorial, I will write the actual answer, which is 5040 divided by 2 factorial is 2. So which gives 2520. Correct. Is it clear, everybody? Dhanush and Sakshi. Okay, these are some simple questions wherein we have distinct characters, and then we have certain characters where all characters needs to be taken. Here you have certain characters, you have to take all characters, but in that all are not distinct. You have some repeated characters. Till now I didn't touch this chapter. Now I understood it clearly. Yeah, you just need a proper way of, flow. Flow needs to be proper. If you just mix up permutation, combination questions and all difficulty level questions, it's difficult to understand. So you have to take it one by one. So now I hope it is clear now. So first thing we did is where all letters are not taken and there is no repetition. So where we use the simple NPR formula. And the next one is for the second formula where all letters we are taking. So N and R are equal. The formula is just N factorial. And in this we have repeated letters. So if we have repeated letters, we have to solve it in a different way. Okay, so we have so many categories under permutations and combinations. One by one, we will take it up. Okay, so remaining will continue in the next class and go through this. I'll send the practice questions in the WhatsApp group and I'll tell you specific question numbers. Solve only that. Don't try to solve other questions. You can solve it once I explain them. Okay. Has some doubts in ratios. Okay, the picture that you had sent the other day, no? Mm. Um, Sakshi. Which one? Directly and indirectly proportional questions in ratios. Oh, okay. I think you didn't attend today's afternoon YouTube live class. I think I've explained in that the same concept. Okay. It's, we can say directly proportional, or we can say directly varying also. Exactly directly and inversely varying questions, how to take equations, I've explained in afternoon's YouTube live class. So go through that video. Further, if you have doubts, we'll discuss in the next session. Okay. Okay, then see you in the next class. Bye bye.